everyone, this is All Things Tech, and in this video we're looking at the brand new 2018 9.7 inch iPad. Now we're going to be looking at whether it's worth going for this model or do you just skip it and go straight for an iPad Pro. We'll be looking at some of the pros and cons as to what you get with this iPad and how it works. Wait a minute, stop. What the hell is that? That is not the Apple Pencil cap. So there is a very good reason why I've got this hideous nipple looking thing at the end of my Apple Pencil, and if you look carefully at the stalk of the pencil you'll see these little marks. These marks are teeth marks, and they were caused by this, my dog, who on day one destroyed the end of my pencil. I was absolutely furious, and I still am. So while I put my dog up for rehoming, let's check out the screen on this iPad. It's actually the same as the original iPad 9.7 inch. It's a Retina display and looks fantastic. Now where I think that this iPad is really good value, and that's because it has got a lot of the same or better features than the original iPad Pro, and obviously for a lot lower price. The screen, going back to the screen, if you have a closer look, now some people are comparing the iPad Pro and they're saying that the difference, there's a slight edge on the side which you can't even really see in this video, and so therefore it's not quite as good. But guys, this is hundreds of pounds and hundreds of dollars less expensive than the iPad Pro. So let's now compare some of these specs and see how this 2018 iPad really comes into its own and makes it exceptional value for money. So in terms of the screen, the same resolution and the same pixel density as the original iPad Pro 9.7 and slightly less resolution than the original 12.9 version. But that obviously is to be expected. It's also slightly heavier than the original one. In terms of RAM, you're getting the same as the original iPad Pro, and look at the Geekbench scores. You're actually getting far higher Geekbench scores on this current model than what you were on the original iPad Pros from just a couple of years ago. Other things that you may want to consider are the camera. Now if you are somebody that holds your iPad up and records, then you are going to be getting an inferior camera. It's slightly less in terms of megapixels and you don't get the 4K recording. Okay, and finally, let's look at a couple of other things. The one thing that you're missing on the new iPad is the smart connector, and so therefore you won't be able to use the smart accessories which are currently with the iPad Pro range, but everything else is the same, and you can still use a Bluetooth keyboard if you wish. And also you want to consider the speakers, because you're just getting 2 speakers stereo rather than 4 on the iPad Pros, and you are getting a slightly reduced capacity limit where you're not getting the 256GB model. So I think those stats are really impressive. Now onto the Apple Pencil. One of the things others have said about is the lag on the Apple Pencil, and it's a little bit slow compared to the iPad Pro range. And yes folks, it is slightly slower, but this is it slowed down, and although you can see a slight delay, it is literally a microsecond. Now if I just draw this quickly in normal speed and then slow it down even further, you can see that it lags behind by an absolute tiny fraction of time. Not really an issue for me. So I think the key thing here is that if you're an average user and the normal iPad is completely fine for you, but the addition of the Apple Pencil means that whether for school, college or work, you can now have extra use making notes, filling in forms easier, just even navigating with it, then this is definitely going to be the iPad for you. Now if you do need the extra processing power of the iPad Pro, well then just skip this one, spend the extra money and you will be getting a better iPad. There's nobody is going to deny that that is the better iPad. But guys, this is a brilliant machine. I love it. I'm using it with my work. The iPad Pencil, the Apple Pencil, is absolutely stunningly simple to use, and I don't find any problems with it at all. So I myself, apart from the lack of a cap, am very happy. Guys, I hope you found this useful, and if you do, make sure you hit the red button and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.